What if I told you that living forever isn't a blessing, but the cruelest curse? Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing that no matter what you do, jump in front of a train, drink poison, let centuries pass, you will never die. Everyone else has an expiration date. But you? You're the milk carton that never spoils. The candle that never burns out. Sounds cool, right? Eternal youth. Eternal freedom. Eternal time. Except, spoiler alert, eternity has teeth. And sooner or later, it eats you alive. At first, immortality feels like winning the ultimate lottery. No more worrying about health, wrinkles, or funerals with awkward small talk. You'll stroll through life, watching everyone else panic about aging creams and retirement plans. While you smirk in the mirror, untouched by time, people will envy you. Some will fear you, and you'll enjoy it, at least for a while. But here's the first crack in the dream. Year 1. You start realizing that immortality isn't about living forever. It's about watching everyone else not live forever. Your best friend? They get older. Your family? Their faces wrinkle. Their backs bend. And eventually, you're the one standing beside their coffins. Over and over again. You stay the same age while they rot underground. And after enough funerals, you stop crying. Not because you're strong, but because grief becomes boring. How many times can you break before you run out of pieces? By year 100, the loneliness starts to mutate into something uglier. People look at you differently. You've got the same face you had a century ago, while theirs has collapsed into the shape of regret. Do you know what that does to relationships? You can't exactly date someone when you know you'll be young and glowing while they're disintegrating beside you. So you pretend, you fake, you watch them get sick, you hold their hand, and you smile like everything's fine. And when they die, you start over with someone new, recycling the same story like a broken record. Congratulations, you've just turned love into a hobby. But loneliness isn't the worst part of immortality. No, the real horror comes later. Fast forward to year 500. Humanity itself starts to bore you. The trends, the wars, the new religions, the new governments. It's all a rerun. Different faces. Same stupidity. People killing each other for land, for pride, for beliefs they made up 5 minutes ago. At first, you try to interfere. You play the wise immortal, whispering truths into the ears of kings, scientists, revolutionaries. But then you realize something. No matter what you do, history repeats. Humans don't learn. They recycle their mistakes like it's a sacred ritual. And you? You're just the audience stuck in a theater where the same bad movie plays on loop. By year 1000, boredom isn't just boredom anymore. It's a sickness. Do you know what happens when time becomes endless? Meaning evaporates. Think about it. A birthday means something because you only get so many. A kiss feels special because one day your lips will be dust. But when you're immortal, every kiss, every birthday, every achievement turns into background noise. 1,000 cakes later, do you even taste sugar anymore? Or does everything turn to ash on your tongue? And don't even get me started on ambition. Humans work because the clock is ticking. Build an empire before you die. Write a book before you die. Say I love you before you die. Death is the deadline that makes life urgent. But when there's no deadline, why bother? You can always do it later. Later becomes tomorrow, tomorrow becomes next century. And before you know it, you've wasted 500 years sitting in a room staring at the wall because, well, why not? You have forever. But here's the cosmic joke. Immortality doesn't just strip away meaning, it strips away identity. After centuries, who are you really? Your family is gone, your friends are dust, the language you spoke is dead, the cities you knew have crumbled. Everything that defined you has vanished. You're just a wandering ghost trapped in a body that refuses to rot. Maybe you start using fake names. Maybe you reinvent yourself every few decades. But after a while, the lies blur together, and you forget which version of yourself was even real. Now, let's go darker. Year 10,000. Civilizations rise and fall like waves, and you've stopped keeping track. You've been blamed as a witch, celebrated as a ruler, imprisoned as a criminal, hailed as a legend, and forgotten as a nobody. You've seen stars explode in the night sky, oceans dry up, species vanish, and through it all, you remain. Immortality turns you into the last page of a book that never ends. And let's be honest, nobody likes a book that drags on forever. Still sound fun? Oh right, I forgot to mention the sarcasm. Because everyone who daydreams about immortality imagines the perks. Endless travel, endless knowledge, endless adventures. Cute. But here's the part they don't think about. Endless trauma. Every face you love becomes a memory. Every home you build crumbles into ruins. Every promise you make turns to dust. Living forever isn't living, it's losing forever. But maybe you're thinking, fine, I'll adapt. I'll make new friends, find new hobbies, reinvent myself. Sure, you can do that for a few centuries. But eventually, reinvention becomes repetition. There are only so many masks you can wear before you realize it's all just costume changes in the same tragic play. You aren't really living, you're killing time. Infinite time. And let's talk psychology for a second. Humans aren't actually afraid of death. We're afraid of being meaningless. But immortality, it strips away every drop of meaning. Death gives life urgency, purpose, flavor. It's the ticking clock that forces you to taste the fruit before it rots. Without death, there's no urgency. Without urgency, there's no purpose. And without purpose. Immortality isn't a gift. It's a prison with invisible walls. So tell me, if you could choose immortality, would you really want it? Could you handle the funerals of everyone you've ever loved? Could you handle centuries of boredom, the slow erosion of meaning, the unbearable weight of never escaping yourself? Or would you eventually beg for the one thing you can never have, the sweet release of an ending? Because here's the final twist. Maybe immortality isn't about living forever. Maybe it's about dying endlessly in ways worse than death. You don't lose your body. You lose your reason, your purpose, your self. And when all that's gone, what's left? Just an empty shell with eternity to kill. So let me ask you one last question. If death gives life meaning, what meaning is left when death is gone?